Some of the major challenges to the Indian democracy are casteism, communalism, political violence, and corruption. Casteism is a challenge that plays an important role in polity. To protect the interests of the backward castes, many political parties like the AIADMK, DMK, and BSP have come together. Another negative impact on Indian politics is the challenge of communalism. This has led to fear, intolerance, and also given rise to pressure groups like the VHP. The challenge of political violence has assumed serious dimensions, leading to the growth of terrorism. Corruption is another major challenge to Indian democracy. This challenge is related to the criminal records and personal possessions of the politicians. However, mandatory filing of an affidavit with details of personal possessions and criminal records, if any, have led to transparency. Apart from this, money, muscle power, lack of election ethics, and insufficient representation of women and minorities are common challenges faced by the Indian democracy. There are two case studies that reveal some of the challenges faced by the country. Case Study 1. Doctors' absenteeism. All rural villages are supposed to have primary healthcare centers. A survey conducted in Uttar Pradesh revealed that there were no doctors available at these health centers. These doctors had their own private practice in towns and visited the villages once or twice a month. The poor villagers have to travel long distances and pay huge fees to avail of the same facilities when required. What do you think the government should do in such a scenario? The government could make it mandatory for doctors to live in the villages and cancel their services if they do not adhere to the rules. Surprise raids should be conducted to assess the health centers, and the village panchayat could be given more authority to manage the situation in the villages. Let's take a look at the next case. Case Study 2. Political funding. Almost all candidates who have contested elections have grand homes and a fleet of cars costing crores of rupees. The projection to most people is that only the wealthy get a chance to contest and fight elections. Most of these parties are funded by big business and very rich people. The fear is that money seems to have overshadowed the voice of the poor in the Indian democracy. Can anything be done about this? There are many reforms that can take place to avoid this situation. For example, government auditors examine the financial accounts of all the political parties and make it public. State funding for elections should be set up so the aspiring candidates get funded for their elections. Citizens could also be encouraged to help in government funding and in return could enjoy tax benefits. When there are challenges, there are also many possible reforms. Commonly, democracy is a form of government in which rulers are elected by the people. But over a period of time, thinkers have added that the rulers elected by the people take all the major decisions. Elections should be held in a free and fair manner with equal choice and opportunity to all. This choice must lead to a government limited by basic rules of the Constitution and citizens' rights. Let's now redefine democracy and widen its scope based on the influence of global concepts and some socio-economic changes. Democratic rights should not be limited to voting, contesting, and forming political parties. Democracy should grant some social and economic rights to the citizens. The very spirit of power sharing should be extended to power sharing between governments and social groups. Modern democracy should respect the voice of the minority with the majority. The democracy should also extend its scope from mere government and its activities to eliminating discrimination of all kinds. Democracy is also the best form of government on the basis of accountability, consultation and discussion, accommodates, and social diversities. It ensures dignity of the individual and allows room for correction. Thus, we can redefine good democracy as a form of government in which rulers are elected by the people and which ensures that every citizen participates in the decision-making process directly or indirectly through elected representatives in a free and fair manner.